I was called morose. I was probably the most negative person ever. I mean, I would find something wrong with everything. The sky's not blue enough. The ceiling's not tall enough. My dog's not barking enough. Everything. So this process of retraining my brain has been 23 years in the making. Evidently it works. It's just turned my whole life around completely. This is a good example, though, that no matter how you think, oh, I could never be that happy, yeah, you can. And it really is up to you. It really is.
Stories are powerful.
Welcome to the Rise, Recover, Live podcast, brought to you by The Phoenix. This is a space where people impacted by substance use can come to share their story of strength and resilience, get open and honest, and inspire hope and build community through shared experience.
We'll be talking to people in our community on their own recovery journey and shine a light on the topic of recovery in all its forms. Maybe you'll hear some of your story in theirs.
Let's show the world that together we rise, recover, and live.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Rise, Recover, Live podcast. We are your hosts, Bryce III.
And Liz McKean.
What's up, Liz? How's your energy?
My energy is great. I almost giddy. I'm really excited about our guest and our conversation. We've already been laughing a lot. So I say about as high vibe as I could be. How about you?
I'm good. I'm ready to get to this conversation. And so, Liz, let's just get straight to it because I can't wait to get this conversation going. Who do we have with us today?
I know. I'm so excited too. So today we have Ryn Gargulinski, but you can call her Rynski. You can also give me little high fives because I pronounced it correctly, I think.
You did. Oh, my God.
I know it's a big deal. I know. Rynski is a spiritual grief recovery coach, a Reiki master, and an award-winning writer and author of How to Get Through Hell on Earth Without Drinking a Keg or Kicking a Garden Gnome. And according to the book, which I have right in front of me right now and is already about my favorite book I've ever read, it is the #1 bestseller at the Gargulinski Family Picnic, which there is a lot of competition there. So
I know. People bringing the Bible and stuff.
Ooh,
I mean, I had to
beat out Jesus. I love it. Oh my gosh. Ryn, we're so excited to have you here and to have this conversation. How are you doing today?
Oh my God, I'm fantastic. I am delighted to be here. Like I told you before we started, I love the Phoenix and I love doing the Reiki workshops and interacting, and just everyone I've met, they just brighten my life. It's a beautiful organization. So thank you. I am very grateful.
How is your energy?
Oh, just a little low. I think I need more coffee.
No.
I'd be afraid of what.
I would too. Oh my God. When I first got, when I did the Reiki level 1 certification, right? I could not concentrate for 2 days. I was honestly on the ceiling.
Wow.
And I'm like, when can we do Reiki 2? And the woman's like, no, you call me in a year.
Integrate. Let it integrate.
Yes.
Oh
So high energy is a way of life around here.
It sure is. Well, I've been reading your book that is pretty recently was published, if I'm not mistaken. It's stories from your real life, starting really young. Your recovery journey is in there. There's a lot of stories that make you like, you're a person who's able to both talk and write about things that are just horrifying, but like I'm smiling while I'm reading them and laughing because like you are able on this side of it to talk about it in a way that's just like relatable, even if it's something that someone else hasn't necessarily experienced. And it sounds like from what I've read so far, which I've not done, is that, like just art and just ability to like weave stories is something that's been part of you since the very beginning. So I thought maybe we could start there and just talk about that side of you, because, so often we discover parts of ourselves like in sobriety, we not experiencing like, even what we enjoy when we're like in like active addiction. And it sounds like for you, there was a lot that was just like there and maybe is part of what got you through. So let's just hear a little bit about your story.
Oh, well, I don't know where to begin. The writing is a big part of my soul. I have to say that. And I've been wanting to write my story for more than 20 years now. I remember when I was like 19, I said, I got to write my life story. Some lady said, you have to live first. So I was, yeah. So, okay, I waited and waited. But always, you know, when I was young, I just said, I want to be a writer and artist. That's always been at my very core. And I remember a very nice adult saying, oh, that's wonderful, honey, but what are you going to do for money? Oh my God. Did that put me on a path of working at gas stations or what? You know, it's like I could not get a job that was creative and fun because to me that would not be making money. And I had such low self-esteem that I would say, you know, who are you? Oh, I'm a gas station attendant and a writer. You know, I couldn't even look at people. Yes. So I think that recovery and gaining that self-confidence really let me look people in the eye and say, hey, I am a writer. And that is just amazing. And being able to pursue that as my job until it bored the hell out of me is also amazing.
I think.
But it's not that writing bored me. I think the direction it went in. I loved journalism, but all the newspapers kind of fell apart. So I got into marketing, which I'm very good at, writing blogs and such. But you get a lot more passion writing about living on the streets of New York than you do about what kind of fabric softener is all natural.
And I think I think embedded in that too is that conversation around identity. Like, how do I identify? When you ask me,
yes.
you know, who are you? The first thing that comes to mind is gas station attendant, or the first thing that comes to mind is person in recovery, or the first thing that comes to mind is a writer. How has that journey been for you with identification? And where are you today?
Wow, you look these questions up before the show somewhere.
We decided one guest has said we need to have a sign or something. I don't know, applause or something every time Bryce comes out with a good one, which is often.
Yeah, you know, I think the longer I'm in recovery, the not heavier weight wise, but how about the broader and more brilliant my identity becomes. Because I realize I am all these things. And I remember early in recovery, I went to therapy as well as joining a recovery community. Therapists say, what do you do I go to recovery meetings. Well, who do you hang out with? I hang out with my recovery friends. And I said, I'm an alcoholic. I got to do this stuff. And she's like, you're an alcoholic, but that's only a little part of who you are. And it was like, whoa, you mean I can have a life that doesn't include, you know, sitting at a meeting all day? And that was really eye-opening. And the more confidence I've gained and the more things I've wanted to do, would you know I'm actually a welder and a poet? I never learned to juggle. But
next week.
Yeah. Oh, and a tattoo artist. I did learn how to tattoo. I mean, yeah, it's just amazing and amazingly fun. But then when it comes to career-wise, it becomes amazingly complicated, which is why I just did a big, I want to say a swear word, but I'll say a big butt shift. So right now, I'm going to be focusing on grief recovery coaching instead of artist, writer, Reiki master. I'm still going to do all those things, but I am going all in on this new venture, and it's scary and it's wonderful.
Everything that you just listed that you've done and all those experiences that you've had and those skills you've picked up and those identities that you've carried are tools for being a recovery grief coach, because that's not just like every single person is going to grieve differently. So you would need all those things right? For it. Yeah,
exactly.
What brought you to that? What brought you to this new path?
The book had a big part of it. A lot of people, I got the same kind of feedback that you gave me. They're like, I felt so bad. I was laughing through the whole thing. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to. And they're like, oh my God, you're so strong and you're so brave and you're so, you know, and it doesn't occur to me. That's not part of my identity, strong and brave, But it's like when I honestly did look at it, I said, whoa, I was like a walking grief bomb. Why am I still alive? And it seems like some people are naturally drawn to me when they have grief and I'm able to help them. And I thought that was a very good area to focus all this high vibe stuff, because a lot of grief, you think, oh, we're walking into the funeral home and let's sit here and be quiet. No, at my dad's funeral, we were laughing so hard. The director had to come and look inside to make sure, like, what the heck is going on? I mean, it's like, it's just the way I look at things. Yes, I bring a level of lightness, but it does not say that what we're going through is not serious. It's just that you don't have to be drowning on the ocean floor in one of those stupid trunks that have chains on them,
Yeah, and I think so. First of all, you're my favorite type of person. Like somebody who can participate in life in all of the fields within life, but still have an outlook that allows for humor, which is medicine for me, right? Mm-hmm. And if you think about and it's crazy because even your background, it has trees that are similar to this book that I read by Pema Chodron called The Places That Scare You. And it's about allowing for the process and not shielding the experience with a toxic positivity, but learning to find the nuggets that allow for us to find meaning within the dark spaces. And so being able to laugh has been laughter and community have been so impactful in my recovery, because it's I have a community where I can go and we can make jokes about some of the crazy shit that we've experienced. There's only one or two spaces I know I can go and make a joke about how I was thinking about killing myself and how this and that and this and that, and somebody will laugh and you just see it. It's a connection in the eyes. Oh yeah, you get it. You understand. And this doesn't have to be the woe is me experience, and we don't have to, what's Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore? Man, this is my life, and this is,
I know,
it's
get that guy out of here.
Even before you even said a word today when we got on the call, your laughter, you know what I'm saying, and just your face and your energy translated through the camera, and it's okay, yeah, this is about to be a good interview. So my question to you is, has that always been an aspect in your life? Has that always been a quality of yours, or is that something that you cultivated?
Hell no. I was called morose. I was probably the most negative person ever. I mean, I would find something wrong with everything. The sky's not blue enough. The ceiling's not tall enough. My dog's not barking enough. Everything. So this process of retraining my brain has been 23 years in the making. Evidently it works. And it's just turned my whole life around completely. So no, this is a good example, though, that no matter how you think, oh, I could never be that happy. Yeah, you can. And it really is up to you. It really is.
So you mentioned how writing this book was cathartic and helped to bring some things to light, but what are some other ways that aided in you cultivating this way of looking at life and of showing up?
Oh, listening to a lot of The Doors.
Okay.
Man, every single song, Run With Me, This Is the End. I mean, it's this whole big tragic thing. And I remember I was really depressed listening to them, and I just started laughing. I'm like, why am I listening to this when I'm in this mound of depression? So I think what came out of that is, don't take yourself so seriously. Nobody gets out of here alive. Might as well have fun. And I lost my second train of thought. What was the other? What else cultivated it? Art, creating, definitely creating. Even if it's not a painting or something, just I love gardening, getting out with the earth, being out in nature, even if you're creating a dish, just cooking something, just taking that energy and making something with it.
Yeah. You've talked about high vibe living. Is that
Yes.
just encompass all of that, or is that something more specific?
Yes. Actually, there is a vibrational scale. And once I discovered that, I'm so into lists and check boxes. Like, oh my God, I got to see where I'm at. Yes, I got to be at 1 to 7. And it's amazing because the whole scale shows you, it's in my book, actually, you'll see it in the last chapter, what kind of emotions bring you down. And addiction is the lowest rung of the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't think it would be possible for me to have a high vibe life if I'm in addiction, that I, like how I was ruling my life. And it also is a great reminder. So when I get feelings of even, say, jealousy, I mean, that's down in the lower end of the scale, and I can't be high vibe if I'm sitting around being jealous. So a big part of it was learning to process emotions, learning to sit through them, learning they are not going to kill you, even though it feels like it.
Yeah. And then even when like you're speaking of like creativity, and thinking about the concept of this book, where people have read it and they're just laughing throughout like a lot of the tragic things that you've experienced. Like there's this alchemy of taking this and turning it into this, right? And that allows for you to like create something beautiful out of this, maybe this thing that wouldn't be seen as beautiful in the moment, right? But there's also the flip side of the spectrum where, at least for me, this has been a part of my experience where like when something happens, it's like, well, what does this mean? And how can I use it to turn it into this? And how can I take this and turn it into these skills that I'm trying to cultivate? And how can I take this and turn it into humor? And like a little bit of overbearing of like, and it's still a aspect of controlling, right? And so I've learned that recovery for me has been to be able to show up for life on life's terms, whatever it brings, not have to change it into anything, but having the background, like this tool or this foundation of this is how I would like to show up. Like, this is how I would like for this to play out. Because ultimately, like, it's a story, right? The story we tell ourselves, I'm an addict, like I'm stuck in this. I have nobody, I have no community. Or the story like, oh, there is community, there is places I can reach out to. And that story allows for us, like it alters the actions we take. It alters the way that we look at things. And yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I saw
times
that.
a million.
I feel like I saw that play out. Like, Ryn, you know, if you are up for talking about this, I know that you live in a part of the state of Florida that got really just crushed by the hurricane last year. And I remember, you know, hearing from you, and it was just horrible. It was just like, there was just no not saying it was horrible. And like, you know, you reached out to me and were like, this is horrible. And, you know, and you weren't, I mean, you were still your same, you know, wonderful, loving self, but like, you weren't sugarcoating it. You were like, this is a crappy thing that's happening right now. And it's scary. You know, wasn't there with you or anything, but like, got another note from you a few weeks later. And you were like, things are getting better, like listing the things that you were seeing improvement in. And just like that light was just, it was just like, it was the vehicle that got you to that place, which obviously, you know, actual actions had to get you there. But like that was a really cool thing to witness, you know, that it was to be able to be really clear and honest about like how crappy something is and still have so much hope shine through, and then see that hope actually was led to actions that led to things getting better.
Wow. I like that.
I liked it too.
See, sometimes I don't even realize what I'm doing.
But that's
I
just
love
in
the
you.
alchemy. The alchemy is like, that is alchemy. And I think a big thing I learned with my big grief because I ignored everything when I was drinking. I heard that's a common thing.
We should do a survey and see.
Yeah. Were you avoiding anything in life? So when I had a death that was so close to me, it opened the whole cauldron of grief, and I didn't know what to do with it. I had never met grief before. So I thought the right way to grieve was to show no hope, to show no happiness, and to not even smile, to not do anything but brood. Because if I stopped brooding, that meant I didn't care. If I smiled and laughed, that meant I didn't care. If I went on with my life, that meant I didn't care. And a very close friend of mine said, you are allowed to laugh. You're allowed to make jokes. You can still be grieving and you can make jokes. Those two things can happen at the same time. So I think that's what the hurricane example made me think of. Like, yeah, this really sucks, but I'm not going to sit around and say, oh my God, this sucks. I'm going to do stuff to not think about it or try to make things better.
Yeah.
And
and reach out to community, reach out just to remind yourself that there's other people out there that care about you, that want to, support you. Like, that's huge to have that wherewithal to be able to do that.
And to ask for help. Ooh, that was another thing. I thought that was a sign of weakness for so many years. Oh my God, I can do it myself.
Yeah. Yet it's not.
And someone told me once too, yeah, okay, you can, but why would you want to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was like, whoa, that's a good one.
I feel like a lot of people that feel that way, and I might be speaking from some personal experience, those of us who feel like, don't reach out for help, become the biggest helpers, kind of ironically, like are the ones that really feel that everybody else deserves help and we want to be the ones to give that. But then when it comes to those moments where we think we need it, where we know we need it, we refuse to ask for it. It's like, why? Actually, I might have said this on another episode, but I had a therapist say to me once in a not terribly gentle way, like, why do you think you're better than everybody? Like, why do you think everybody else deserves help? Why do you think everybody else deserves grace, but you don't? Like, what? You're better? And I was like, I felt the opposite. But when you put it that way, you're right.
Yeah. I was going to say low self-esteem. I'm not worthy of help.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm too good for help. Oh,
or like, I should be able to figure this out, but nobody else should have to do that. So that's, I know that I chewed on that for a while. I might have stopped seeing that therapist for a while.
I was
too.
going to say, yeah.
He fired that
Go
therapist.
to mine that said you're more than an alcoholic. I like
that too. But the message was helpful. It was. And you did that. I mean, you're a helper. Like, you're a person that goes out and heals people. So like, which came first? Like, were you out there helping people before you were at a place in your life that you were able to ask for help? Or did those happen in a more integrated way?
I only started helping people when I felt that I had something to help them with.
Yeah.
That's not true though. Because I'm even thinking back in my drinking days. Yes, I don't know. There's something in me that makes, there is, even though I would pretend I am so tough and nothing bothers me, there's compassion in there. And it still makes me a little weird to talk about it because this is like new. new to recognize it. You know what I mean? Because I'm this laughing tough thing. But oh my God, no, I do love. And oh my God, I do have a heart. And wow.
Yeah.
Oof. Now you're blowing my mind.
We love breakthroughs on this show.
Here it is. I am going to add compassionate to my identity.
I'm shocked that you hadn't already, because I would have definitely added that to something I would have said about
I don't know. You know what I think? I think because it doesn't go with the tough chick image. I'm still the one that came when I was like 18 years old.
That like shield.
There's still pieces of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have leather jackets and boots, even though I live in Florida. But it's got to be flip flops and tank tops, man.
Yeah, I think I've seen this for me too. But despite the tough exterior, even when you were 18, like one of the things, like a theme that I've seen just even in the early parts of your book is that strangers would help you. Like you attracted people that were compassionate, like attracts like, in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. And so even if you weren't feeling
This
like
is
that
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
Seriously, who in the streets of New York City, when there's like a kid, feeling all surly and wearing their leather jacket and, goes up and be like, do you want a place to stay? Do you want to work at my ice cream shop? Like these are things that happen to you that like, I don't think that happens to people roaming the streets of New York City.
Wow. Yeah. Well, me and my mom always talk about that. She says it's because she sent all these fleets of angels, and Grandma P also sent angels. So I always thought it was that. But I think you're right. Like, because I always thought I was tough, independent. And then one day I looked back and I said, whoa, there was never a point where I even lived alone. I run away and then I end up with people helping me the whole way through because I'm so tough and independent. So I love your take on it, Liz, about the like. Oh my God, this is so cute. Like attracting like.
Yeah.
This is good. Wow.
Well, my work here is done then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryn, I would love to talk a little bit about the Reiki that you do, since we're getting into that realm. I feel like you instruct on the Phoenix live stream platform, and I think maybe even in person now, an event that is Reiki like specifically for folks who are impacted by substance use. So like, how has that helped you? How are you seeing that help other people?
Oh, I'm absolutely loving it. I think, well, I love so much about it, but one of the foremost things is just introducing people to Reiki. A lot of people are not clear on what it is and what it does, and whatever, then, I'm just going to ignore it. But if you start to understand it, and I only looked into it because my elbows hurt and nothing else worked. It's not like I'm going to go have a spiritual awakening now. No, my elbows were killing me. So let's try Reiki. And I thought I was going into reflexology to boot. So it was like, it kind of happened next. I go to the Reiki master. I'm like, yeah, are we supposed to do something with our feet? And she's like, no, that's reflexology.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. You just went to the wrong class. And it worked out.
I was okay, let's do this Reiki thing. And like I said, the first time when I went to, and I didn't go get a Reiki treatment. I went and got certified.
Of course.
That's,
moderation
that's
is not a thing. Yeah, I get it.
No,
I relate. Yeah.
Go get a Reiki treatment or two. See if you like it. No, I'm getting certified.
I'm actually instructed. That's amazing.
Yeah. So like I said, it made me so full of energy, so clear, and I had like an awakening about what really, really mattered in life. And that was bad for work that week because I had decided that my work didn't matter. But, the thing I was working on, whatever. But I really felt this flush and flow of energy and the healing. And like when I first quit drinking too, I just want to run to the rooftops and scream to everyone, come to recovery, come to Reiki, come. Yeah.
So for somebody like me who doesn't know what Reiki is, what is Reiki?
Yes.
What does that process look like?
Reiki is a type of energy therapy where the practitioner channels divine healing energy from the heavens into you. How you react to it is going to be different based on who we are. I like describing it as the same kind of concept as acupuncture, but without the needles. Like it clears all your energy channels so everything can flow. So all that neck stress like this, gone.
Yeah.
All those emotions and anger from age 18 to 29, gone. Well, that one's still going. But anyway, you get the idea.
The first time that I ever had Reiki, I remember having a lot of doubts about it, just like any, good cynical person would. And and having a few like experiences, I won't go into a lot of detail, but just like a few experiences during and then after that, It was just kind of like undeniable shifts had happened. And
Ooh.
it's, I think, the thing with Reiki, and I know there's a lot of other, acupuncture is one of them too, where I feel like it's hard to wrap your head around. You know what? Even the Phoenix is like this. Like, what is this thing? Like, it's just, it's hard to put it in a container that allows you to like tell people about it in a way that's going to have them like really understand what they're stepping into. And it's just the experience is the thing that because it's almost like a create your own adventure kind of situation. It's going to be different for every single person experiencing Reiki, acupuncture, the Phoenix. It's so it's so unique. And I think that just goes right along with recovery, because even though there's these options that we have and paths that we take, even those who take the exact same path. I mean, you talk to two people who have gone to even the same recovery meeting, they're going to come out and have like entirely different feelings and experiences and next steps. And well, maybe some of the same steps if we're talking about steps, but like when it comes to like actions, thank you.
Right.
And I think that's a cool thing about recovery too, because once you realize that, that's like this sense of freedom of like, well, then let's just try it on.
Yes, exactly. And it's, in the beginning, I felt like if I didn't feel like that person, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. What's wrong with me? No, this is like you just said, it's perfect how you summed it up. It's everyone's going to have a different journey and different paths and different crossroads and different, damn it, how did I get 20 miles behind?
So what do you say to somebody who might be a skeptic of Reiki, or like, were you, I mean, you said you went to the wrong class and then ended up in a Reiki class. So were you skeptical before you went in, or like?
Heck no. I just wanted the pain gone. Kind of like recovery. I just didn't want to die. What do I have to do? And then when I realized, I was like, I don't want to do that.
But by then you're in it.
Oh yeah. By then I'm in it. And someone just, I said, I don't want to do this. How long do I have to do this? And they said, how long do you want to stay miserable? Or you can start taking these suggestions. No, I wasn't skeptical about Reiki. I'm not skeptical about any kind of energy or spiritual, whatever.
Modality?
What's that word I'm looking for? Modality. Yeah. Even though it sounds all technical. Yeah. I'm not. I want to give it a try. I want to see what happens. Yeah. Even that thing where you sit in the dark in a tub.
Yeah, that's sensory deprivation.
Yeah, I might even try that one day.
It's pretty dope.
You did it?
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times.
Nice.
One time it was pretty challenging. I mean, it's like you disappear, and then what is that conversation like? Because you're floating, you can't see anything, you can't hear anything. So who are you, right? Like, and that was my experience.
I just got chills.
Yeah, that was
wow.
I would suggest it. But yeah, it's just like anything, like how you said, like there's so many different tools, so many different ways to cultivate a relationship with our belief sets, improve our lives with the different tools that exist. And some may be for some people and some may not be for some people. But if you don't try or taste it, like if you go to the ice cream store and then don't taste any of the flavors and just like shit on ice cream for the rest of your life, like that's kind of on you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There's some good ice cream in the world, So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
so
and when it comes to those energy modalities, I'm just going to hold right on to our technical word.
Yeah.
I always look at I don't know, this might be a recovery thing too, because I don't think that I looked at the world this way before, but I look around at just like all the magic. I mean, we all have different words for it, but like there's like gravity holding us down on this planet. There's like these stars in the sky that like often many I can't see, and I still know that they're there. There's Wi-Fi. There's like something that's allowing us to have this conversation over all these miles away. We're in 3 different cities, and that to me is all just like magic that I can't see. So for me to ever think that like I could really fully grasp and comprehend and decide what is and isn't going to, have an effect on me, like, I mean, I hopefully have let go of that level of arrogance long ago. I'm sure I still come to things cynical sometimes, but I mean,
we definitely should have had a woo-woo warning for this episode. Like,
we still
warning,
can.
we're going to
I'm
get woo-woo today.
like I'm drooling.
No, because I mean, like, I've had a lot of spiritual experiences.
Ooh.
I believe in magic. I
Me
might be a
too,
warlock.
yes.
Like, who knows? But
Ooh. Yeah.
because of the spaces that we're in, and because we speak of recovery, and because there's a lot of like conversation around evidence-based practices, like I try my best to weigh things down to make sure there's like, okay, we have evidence, we have statistics, we have data to follow what it is that we're speaking about when it comes to recovery, right? And, I also appreciate these spaces where I could just tell you about like, the spiritual experience that I had, or like the things that I couldn't explain, or like when I was in rehab and, I woke up, like I felt like there was a million, I don't know, on top of me. And I felt like I was finna die. And then I woke up the next day and I felt like, I fell out of a plane and bears were attacking me on the way down, but I was alive and I was grateful. And then on the floor, there was this piece of paper that had a prayer on it that was like sandwiched in between like 80 other pieces of paper. And the night before was the first time that I got on my knees and prayed in my adult life. And so like it's instances like that like really shifted the way that I approach like divinity and like some of these larger concepts. And then that started me with the habit of asking, like, why do I believe what it is that I do believe? Like, if I say something like, not that way because it's always that way. And it's like, well, why is it always that way? Questioning life, because what do we really know?
Yes. Oh my God. I love that. I mean, self-discovery and self-analysis, which can be taken too far, by the way, is that to me is magic. It's like I'm finding all these secrets that, oh my God. I think one of my favorites, I hate the color pink. I hate the color pink. Why do you hate? I just hate it. It's gross. It's disgusting. I finally realized when I was a kid, I had an all pink bedroom. And when I got in trouble, go to your room and don't come out. Whoa. So now I even have a pink water bottle. So there.
Whoa.
Coming up in the world. Oh my goodness. Rynski is changing. Who are you?
Amazing. I love that.
But
so
that's
much.
the same thing. Why do I believe what I believe?
Yeah.
And I wish more people could do that. Could really say, do I believe what's coming from my soul, or do I believe what's coming from the outer world and telling me this is what it is?
Yeah, I've been reading Think Again by Adam Grant, and recently in the book, he had mentioned something called an idea cult, where it's like, if something is ever always wrong or always right, you may be a part of an idea cult. And to like ask yourself, is this always true or is it always false? Like, why so? And then it's really a book about questioning, like living in learning environments where it's okay to be wrong, and not grabbing on to what it is that we've always just known. And I think that speaks to the beginning of our conversation where we were talking about identity. And one thing I've learned in recovery is that, our identities change, but that is something that we can tend to hold so tight on. Like, people rally and people, hurt people, and people like belong to these spaces and will like die over their identity. And so recovery allows for a restructuring of our identity. And 12-step, they may call it an entire psychic change, or like there's all like, I'm not the person, like you can look at pictures from me from 10 years ago, and people are like, yo, you don't even look like the same person. I watch videos, I got stuff on YouTube, I will never give you the link, but every now and then I go back and look, and I'm like, yo, that's literally not me. Like, who is that? It is because we've changed, and I think recovery allows for that space. And so my question for you is, what tools do you have set up for like the continuity of that process, for where like just in this conversation, you've had some like breakthroughs where it's like, oh, like how do you keep the door open to allow for the continuity of your identity shifts?
A big one, I love the reminder that we give our heads and our brains way too much power. And if I give as much power to my heart, then that's where I'll feel the truth. So I bring it back to my heart and my that little inner voice, which sometimes has a megaphone now. That's so amazing because I can never even hear it before. And the feelings. Sometimes I'll get, like I said at one point, I got chills when you said something. It's like those are signs to me that what I'm hearing or feeling or seeing is something I should look at more deeply.
I love that.
Sound like intuition.
And I think...
Oh, yeah. One word. You would have cut out like this poetic explanation.
I like the way you said it better.
Yeah, whatever. Intuition, fine. There goes a whole chapter out of my book.
Oh, no. You tied it up in the bow and then let go of the rest of it.
Intuition.
Just the bow. So much of what we're talking about is making me think of my little niece who is 6 and the most confident and well-adjusted and just, deeply loved, but also deeply self-loving person, like just naturally. And I mean, I don't know whether I like to believe that we all come into this world, feeling just worthy because we're here, because we just, all those things that we try to like give ourselves back as we get older and, have talked ourselves out of it or been talked out of it. And one of the things that just gives me so much hope in humanity, and just like our ability to just collectively heal and maybe bring it back around to where we all can hold on to that better is watching her. She had an assignment recently that she had to draw a picture and finish a sentence of, what do I want to be when I grow up? And, like kids, I remember doing that kind of thing and drawing a picture of, like myself, I don't even know, some uniform or something like that. Who knows? And she drew a picture of herself holding an ice cream cone and handing it to a kitten. And to answer the question, when I grow up, I will be blank. And she put her name in the blank. And they were like, oh, maybe you didn't understand the assignment. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, who do you want? Actually, I think the who was the question. Like, who do you want to be when you grow up? And she was like, me, but I'll have a kitten and ice cream. And it's like, girl, yes, God. You will. Like, it was just like,
yes.
And she was like, yeah, like who else would I be? It was so.
Oh, that's profound moment. Yeah. Wow.
That's interesting too. I mean, that can be maybe a behind the scenes conversation where it's like, why are you so adamant to have me want to be somebody other than who it is that I am? Like, no, but who do you want to be?
Yeah.
What do you want to be? Like, what's wrong with what I am now?
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh.
And nothing is the answer. Whoa. And nothing. And she would tell you that. Like, she would tell you that. She did. She defended her choice. And I think every grown up there was just like, well, damn, me too. And I also want ice cream and a kitten. So
yeah,
there you go.
That is amazing. That is really cool.
Well, speaking of childhood, what do you think, Bryce? Are we ready? Do you want to
go ahead? Run it back. Run it back.
Right. Let's do it. We're going to do our big question that we ask everybody towards the end of each episode.
I want to be me with the puppy and ice cream.
Okay, well, there you go. And draw a picture, and then you'll have completed the assignment. Ryn, if you could reach back in time and just send some words, they could be wise words or they could just be words, to a version of yourself, a previous version, someone that you might want to send a message to, any kind. What might you say to previous Ryn?
Oh my God. I wouldn't tell her to do anything differently because it was just too much fun. I think I would just say, I love you. I love you and you deserve to be loved. Oh,
I love that.
Rynski's about to grip her pink water bottle here in a second.
Where is it? I need it. Where's my puppy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
thank you. That was beautiful. And
Thank
could
you.
feel
My
that
goodness.
love through the screen. And I'm sure there's people out there that needed to hear that today. And that's why we asked that question, because there's always that previous version of you that is out there that it's listening, and they need to hear that they're loved, and they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wrapping up here, we'll put all the links in this podcast episode to your book and anything else that you want to shout out. But is there something you want to shout out for people just listening right now to keep up with you, catch up with you, grab the book, any other calls to action?
Yes. Keep up with me, catch up with me, grab the book. You can go to rynskigriefrecovery.com. You can connect with me there or on Facebook. I love growing a network of people who aren't trying to sell me fake leads. So come on in. And if you know someone who could use some grief recovery, I am here to help. I'm compassionate. I deserve to be loved. And I have 9 million identities, including dog lover.
I love it.
Thank you.
And also, definitely, we're doing your Reiki class is on the Phoenix virtual platform. Is it monthly?
Yes.
Is that what we've got to come?
Yes, third Sunday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern. Do come. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I pick a random topic each month. They range from making a crystal grid to how to use Reiki for hurricanes.
I love it. Oh, it's amazing. Well, I just want to grab Ryn's book because it's already got me totally. Are you the kind of person that if I have a book that I'm enjoying, it's like I have to actually force myself to give myself time that I can read up until this time. Otherwise, I'll just not do anything but read for an entire day. I'll forget to eat and sleep and all those things. So I'm doing that with your book because it's got me totally sucked in. So thank you. Thank you for writing it. And thank you for joining us. This has just been like a very big light in my day, my week. And I know that we're going to enjoy sharing that with everybody who's listening today.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thanks for the invite. And it's beautiful to be in your company. Yes. Yeah. Bodie used, as my grandma used to say.
Well, thank you. And for everybody who's listening, thank you for being here. We're super grateful to be able to have these conversations with you, and hope that you continue to tune in every Tuesday as we drop episodes. And as always, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to leave us a review, leave us a rating. I know Spotify and Apple Podcasts in particular make that pretty easy. So if you're able to just pop some 5 stars in there, that makes a really big difference for us. And if you're not sure how to do that, we'd love to walk you through it. And you can reach us directly in where, Bryce? I almost just jumped right into your part.
You can reach us directly in space or in therapy or wherever we might be at any given time. But there is another way that's a lot easier than hopping on a spaceship or finding who my therapist is. And that is downloading the Phoenix app. Download the Phoenix app. So first of all, you should have the Phoenix app on your phone anyway, because you have access to all of the free community, all of the free programming, virtual and in person, as soon as you download that app. But when you download that app, there's community groups within the app. And one of those community groups, believe it or not, is the Rise, Recover, Live podcast. So come in there, holler at me and Liz. Come tell us what you enjoyed about this episode with Rynski. Say hey to Rynski. Let us know what you love about the show, what you don't love about the show, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, and we'll be there. So grab that Phoenix app on the App Store and download it on your phone. And next time you be here, you better have it done.
All right, we're going tough love. All right, well, thank you again, everybody. Thanks, Bryce and Ryn, and we will see you all next time.
So now you're excited. Bryce, Liz, how do I get involved with the Phoenix? Well, my friend, it is super simple. We actually have an app. Head over to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, or look in the show notes of this podcast, wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast, and go download the Phoenix app.
The Phoenix app makes it so easy to find classes that are near you or to access our virtual class schedule where you can hop on from the comfort of your home. You can also join our groups and have a conversation with someone from the Phoenix community from anywhere in the world. Please make sure that you join the podcast group where you can connect with Bryce and I and other listeners. Everything that you need is in the show notes. You can also head to our website at www.thephoenix.org. And maybe while you're there, you click the volunteer tab and get even more involved.